Okay, so I got my tees, I got my golf balls, got my golf clubs. I feel like there's something I'm missing. It'll come to me. Hey guys, certified Rotary Swing instructor Anthony Hopkins here. What you just caught me doing was going through my pre-round checklist. I plan on playing golf today, and I'm going to need all these things in order to play and accomplish that task. Now, once I get there, I want to play well. I don't want to lose these golf balls. I don't want to break all these tees. I don't want to lose my golf clubs, and I sure as heck don't want to break my clubs if I get frustrated. So, I want to do the best job I can to play well. One of the best ways that I know how to do that is have a good foundation of pre-shot fundamentals to include the way I set up to the golf ball and the way I address the golf ball. I want to make sure those things are consistent all the way throughout my round in order to give myself the best opportunity to hit the ball where I want to go. So, stick with me to the end of this video, and I'm going to give you just that. I'm going to give you a pre-shot fundamentals setup routine to make sure you address the golf ball the same way each and every time. Money. That's what I forgot. Money. Got to pay for my round. Okay, guys, so setup. Setup routine is part of your pre-shot fundamentals or that pre-shot checklist. It's that list that you want to scratch off each and every time you address the golf ball. So whether you're trying to hit the ball in the fairway or on the green, you want to make sure you set up to the golf ball the same way each and every time. You want to put your body in the most safe, effective, and powerful position to be able to utilize your body efficiently. And then from there, you can build a repeatable golf swing. Okay? Now, that being said, does that make you immune to hitting bad golf shots? Not necessarily. The professionals on television hit lots of good shots, but then they occasionally hit some bad shots. When you look at a shot on replay between a good shot and a bad shot, and you look at that same professional, you wouldn't be able to tell which shot was going to happen from their setup, because their setup are the fundamentals that have been mastered. And that's what I want to help you with today. All right? So that being said, let's get started. First things first, I have looked at several setup videos on the internet, and one thing I find is very constant. We put a very big focus on what the body is doing, and we forget one point of reference, and that's the golf ball. Okay? The golf ball is the only point of reference that's going to continuously change in the round of golf. Whether you start on the tee box, you end up in the fairway, you end up in the rough or the bunker, and then you find yourself on the green. We're always going after the golf ball, and we're always setting up to the golf ball. So instead of putting an emphasis on setup with just using the body and then making the golf ball the afterthought, let's start at the golf ball and work our way back to the body. That way we have the perfect setup from the golf ball moving back. And then we're going to be addressing the golf ball properly each and every single time. Okay? So first things first. We put the golf club behind the golf ball. We put the golf ball in the center of the club face because that's where the sweet spot is, right? Okay? So we're going to assume the golf club is straight, and so we're just going to put the club behind the golf ball. All right? Now, we're going to let the club sit naturally. We're not going to pull the handle up in the air where the heel comes excessively up in the air because that's not natural. Okay? Neither is if I push the handle way down and the toe comes way up. Okay? We want to use the sole as our point of reference for letting the club sit naturally behind the golf ball. Okay? So the club sits naturally. So we got the club handled. We're well on our way. Let's continue to work up the chain. We're going to put our hands on the golf club. We're going to assume your grip is in a good, solid, neutral grip position. So now we got our hands. So we're going to continue to work backwards. Okay? Now we're going to let our arms hang. And we want our arms to hang naturally. Now here's a caveat with this. Okay? We can make our arms hang naturally by rolling our shoulders, or we can keep our back straight and hinge at the hips. Okay? If you roll your shoulders, what you're doing is curving your spine, and you're going to make it very hard to rotate around your spine freely. So we want to keep our spine in a neutral position. So instead of rolling from the shoulders, we want to hinge from the hips. Okay? So club behind the golf ball, hands on the club. We want to hinge from the hips. And now we've pretty much got our upper body entirely taken care of. So now we're going to focus on the legs. Okay? So the legs, what we're going to do is make sure the ball position is off our lead cheek. Okay? And we're going to spread our feet. Now we're spreading our feet. The stance width is about 1 to 2 inches outside of neutral joint alignment. What is neutral joint alignment? If you find that pointy hip bone right here, we're going to put the club and we're just going to let it hang straight down. That would be neutral joint alignment. Okay, 1 to 2 inches outside of that is where you should put your foot, and that would be on the outside of the club in this case. Okay, because I got shoes on, right? So lead shoe, lead foot, same concept. Okay, right outside the golf club because there's my hip bone. Okay, so now I have the perfect stance width for any standard iron shot. Okay, so I'm going to come back from this view. So the last thing that we have is once we have our hands, our arms, our upper body, our stance width proper, now what we're going to do is focus on balance. Okay, we're going to try to keep all of the weight in the center of our ankles. So we're going to try to keep our hip in line with the center of our ankle. If we move too much weight in the back or we bend too much with the knees, it puts too much weight in the back of our heels. That's going to affect that when we swing the golf club, we're going to be fighting balance, and the club and the momentum is going to pull us this way. So we're going to be fighting ourselves as this club is working around our body. Likewise, if you put the weight in your toes. So you put your weight too far in your toes and you swing forward, you're going to lose your balance. Okay? So we want to have the weight in the center of our ankles. So center of our ankles, hips over those ankles, and then all you're going to do is slightly bend your knees. Just unflex them. Okay? Once you've gotten there, you have my permission. Green lights ahead. Go for it. Permission to swing. Go for it, and I hope you hit a good shot. Okay? So, best way I have found to practice this is to go to the driving range and reset up yourself to each and every shot you take. Oftentimes when I watch people on the range, they hit one ball and then they grab another ball and they bring it back to them. And they do it again and they don't move their feet. Okay? So they're not practicing the practical way of playing golf where you're going to go chase that one golf ball that you just hit off the tee or off the fairway. Okay? So the best way to practice this that I've found is hit your golf ball, make your swing, get your feedback, right? Think about what you've done. Think about the next thing that you're going to think about, a fix, right? Grab another ball, place it down on the mat or on, in your area, step off, step back, and then come back in, okay? And we're going to go through the same type of setup routine. Club behind the golf ball, spread your feet, make sure everything is bent up properly, and go from there. And that's how you're going to build this into your pre-shot routine, making sure that your setup is correct each and every single time you address the golf ball. Because what I want to do is help you get into the best position to give yourself the best opportunity to have a successful shot. And then ultimately, an overall good score on your round of golf. Okay? So, if you like this video, please hit the like button down below. Okay? On our website, Chuck has a little bit more in-depth golf swing or analysis on the golf setup. Okay? So I highly encourage you to check that video out. Okay? If you're a member of the website, I look forward to seeing you soon. I look forward to working with you. If you're not a member of RotarySwing.com, I highly encourage you to check it out. And if you decide to become a member of the site, I would love and look forward to work with you as well. Okay? So until next time, I appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys on the other side.